We head now to South Africa, where Dr. Nandipha Magudumana has accused South African police of kidnapping her when she was returned to South Africa. The doctor is accused of helping serial rapist and murderer Thabo Bester to escape from prison. She was arrested in Tanzania and returned to South Africa in April. Now, she's challenging her arrest, saying that it was unlawful.
Now, well, joining us to examine this story further is South African journalist and editor Diane Hawker. Good morning, Diane. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us.
Morning to the viewers as well.
All right, and a lot of people would say that the drama continues in South Africa. And of course, I've said it repeatedly, the Thabo Bester story is one of the wildest that, we've ever spoken about on television. But of course, let's dig into it. Dr. Nandipha has taken the Department of Home Affairs and the police and the National Prosecuting Authority to court. Let's understand better what her main objection is.
Well, initially, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana was going to apply for bail, just like the other accused in this case. But then she decided to rather actually sort of attack the arrest that took place. She's gone to the High Court in Bloemfontein to try and have the arrest declared unlawful. She's saying that the police basically kidnapped her and also provided incorrect information about how her arrest took place, and is saying that that is outside of the legal processes. In her affidavit, she says the NPA and the police need to come to court with their hands clean, and as a result, believes that her arrest should be declared unlawful. This would essentially mean, if the court does agree with her, that they would have to either re-arrest her or follow a different kind of process to get her to appear in court.
Oh, wow.
Well, she is claiming abduction, which seems quite like it is certainly a serious allegation. So talk to us about, how she hopes to justify this complaint, and importantly, how the people of South Africa are taking this new turn and this new development in the case.
Well, interestingly, in her affidavit before the High Court, Dr. Nandipha is saying that she wasn't arrested by Tanzanian police, as was initially indicated by the South African police minister. Instead, she's saying that her arrest was effected by South African police on Tanzanian soil. And that would be, quite a strange situation to unfold, and essentially an illegal situation if that is correct, because South African police do not have the authority to arrest people outside of South Africa's borders. And Dr. Nandipha is saying that by the South African police alleging that her arrest was done by Tanzanian authorities, they have essentially lied to the court about how she was eventually arrested. And also, she's saying that the dates that they've given to the court are incorrect. She says that she was initially detained on the 6th of April and was only brought back to South Africa almost or a week later. On the police's arrest warrant, which was submitted to court, it gives the date of the 13th of April. So there is about 6 to 7 day gap, which Dr. Nandipha is saying that she was held by the South African police in Tanzania while waiting to be returned to the South African borders.
All right. Well, her case was due to be heard on Friday, but it was delayed. But, tell us about what happens next, and also, what is she hoping, to happen? If she was illegally arrested, according to her claims, does that in any way, maybe destroy the strength of the case against her?
If she was illegally arrested, it would create a big problem for the SAPS. So the process that she's gone to is she's gone to the High Court to challenge the arrest. The criminal case is being heard in the Magistrates Court, and the High Court is obviously a level above that court. And she said that the High Court should rule the arrest as illegal. If the High Court agrees with her and rules the arrest illegal, essentially she would then have to be released, so she wouldn't have to apply for bail. And then the police would then have to make a decision as to whether they try to re-arrest her or what they do in that process. Of course, the National Prosecuting Authority have said that they will oppose this matter, and they are going to go to court and argue against what she has alleged. So the court is waiting for the National Prosecuting Authority and other parties in the case to actually put forward their full argument as to why Dr. Nandipha shouldn't be released as a result of this alleged unlawful arrest. They will have to motivate to explain what process they followed. And we also now have heard that the Department of Home Affairs will also be submitting an affidavit to explain the process that they followed in bringing, or they were involved in bringing Dr. Nandipha back. Now, the question is whether this was an extradition or whether it was a deportation. And that's how Home Affairs has also now gotten involved. If it was an extradition, it has to be done within the certain prescripts of South African law. But if it was a deportation, there's different legislation that would have to be followed for that purpose. And that is where the court will have to decide if the correct laws were used and whether the correct processes were used to bring Dr. Nandipha back.
All right. I mean, from what I hear, we're waiting for evidence from the National Prosecuting Authority. So have they actually said anything about this case? And do we have an update on Thabo Bester as well?
The National Prosecuting Authority have said that they will oppose this application, obviously, because, this is a significant part of their case. They allege that Dr. Nandipha was central to the escape of Thabo Bester, that she was intricately involved in his escape. So she is part of those who are accused because of her alleged role in, helping Thabo Bester to escape. As far as Thabo Bester is concerned himself, one of the initial issues that delayed his part of the case was his lawyers he changed lawyers in the middle of the process. So he now has new legal representatives, as well as he was saying that he doesn't have a South African identity document. So there wasn't any proof, he was saying before the court, that he is actually Thabo Bester. The Department of Home Affairs has provided him with an identity document, a South African ID card, and he is expected to appear in court again later in June, as well as the other accused in this matter, some of whom are applying for bail, using different reasons and different legal arguments.
I want you to quickly respond to this I just saw this comment now. It says here, I think we can wrap up with this maybe. It says here, me, if I were Dr. Nandipha, I will just plead guilty, mitigate and show remorse to the court to enter into a plea bargain. It says all these stunts she's pulling right now are going to work against her. So I want you to quickly, speak on that, and if these are some of the views that other South Africans share.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your full question there, but I did see that you mentioned something about pleading guilty. So I'm assuming that you're talking about whether Dr. Nandipha would be pleading guilty. That is an option for her if based on the legal advice that she receives. In South Africa, there is a possibility that you can plead guilty or even enter as a Section 204 witness. If you are a Section 204 witness, you are essentially someone who was involved in the alleged crime, but you've decided to help the state with their case. Dr. Nandipha has not chosen to go with this route, although it is an option for her. Her charges haven't been put to her as yet because it's still at the bail application stage. And she's decided to stop her bail application rather to go with this process. So if she does go on to be charged, she can still plead guilty and then give evidence to the state if she so chooses. Or she or any other one of the accused can also try to get a plea bargain with the state and try and become a Section 204 witness, which would basically mean that they would turn as a state witness against the other accused. There are many possibilities in this case, and we have yet to see how it's going to unfold, because the bail part is really just the beginning of the whole legal process.
Well, there are many interesting angles to this. We're seeing that Thabo Bester's, or we're reading that Thabo Bester's team is considering following the same path that Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's legal team has applied. That is, of course, challenging how he was brought back to South Africa. But we're just going to have to wait till the 1st of June on Thursday to see what the court decides on this matter. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diane.